Hey guys, I want to talk about a specific topic that I am super passionate about. I'm so passionate about it that I don't even have to write down my thoughts because I know for a fact what my thoughts are. And if you follow me on TikTok, you already know I've been crashing out about this topic for the past week or so. But I'm going to do that here as well because it's something that I really care about and that really, really bothers me. And that is this idea that a ton of Christians are saying that the Epstein files prove their religion, prove their God, or prove the devil or demons or Satan worship, whatever that means. So I'm going to be going through one of the videos I saw on TikTok. I actually responded to this video, on that platform, but I'm going to do that here because there's a lot of things I want to talk about. So let's just get started.
With all the Epstein files coming out, I think that the one thing that we can 100% take away from all of this is that Jesus Christ is real. And not just oh yeah, he was a person in history. No, Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior. Jesus Christ is King.
All right, so right away she is using the abuse of children and minors to advocate for her religion. That it somehow proves her religion to be true, which we know that's ridiculous. It doesn't even make any sense what she's saying, and I honestly think it's pretty gross to use this as an opportunity to evangelize to others. But, let's keep going.
And sit here and tell me that the people who have bank accounts that are recognizing the demon god Baal and are participating in satanic rituals that literally eat children, which, by the way, I've been saying for years, not online because you guys were not ready for that. Wait until you find out about adrenochrome. I'm not even going to get into it.
Okay, so let's ignore reality and pretend like devil worship was, again, I don't even know exactly what devil worship means. Let's pretend like devil worship was such a huge part of this whole thing. Does that mean that the devil and demons are real? No, it doesn't. There are so many different gods, so many different deities that have been worshipped throughout history. Does that mean because there's somebody worshiping them or doing a ritual for them, make it true? No, it doesn't make any sense. This logic, it lacks any kind of critical thinking when it comes to the legitimacy of something just because there are people around who worship or do rituals surrounding it. By the way, if you don't know what adrenochrome is, it's this idea that comes from the conspiracy theory, which is Pizzagate. And within this conspiracy theory, the elites, which for a lot of these people, they describe them as people in Hollywood or Bill Gates or something like that, all these different people, that they take kids and harvest something from them called adrenochrome and ingest it and then gain some kind of superpowers, supernatural powers. And these people are also working with demons and doing satanic rituals like she mentioned earlier. There is no proof for this. Now, I want to talk about something for a second. Take a pause. A lot of people are upset when I say that Pizzagate is still a conspiracy theory. It's a QAnon conspiracy theory that has been so damaging for so many different reasons, and this is one of them. Where people put all of the blame on these supernatural elements that don't exist, that we don't have any proof for. And there are a lot of people who come into my comment sections and will say, how can you say Pizzagate isn't real? There were really powerful and wealthy people who were abusing kids and minors, obviously. That's not what Pizzagate is. That isn't what Pizzagate is. And even if you have this belief that Pizzagate is simply using the word pizza or pizza party to refer to children, that still doesn't make the conspiracy theory correct, it still doesn't make it correct. The entire Pizzagate conspiracy was filled with so many supernatural elements, including what she's talking about with the adrenochrome, the devil worship, and whatever, that we have no proof for. On top of that, it was a conspiracy theory about a child trafficking ring that was run under a pizza shop, which we know that pizza shop specifically doesn't even have a basement, but it caused a man to go in that pizza shop with a gun. But with that little side tangent, let's continue.
But it's so funny because everyone who's called a conspiracy theorist eventually gets proven right. 30 years ago, people were talking about a conspiracy theory about an island where they take little kids to and they rape them, and everyone was like, oh, that's bullshit, nobody would ever do that. Boom, 30 years later, Jeffrey Epstein. Everything comes out, all of that was...
See, this is where it gets frustrating, where people conflate the two things. They have this idea that just because wealthy and powerful people abuse children and minors equals conspiracy theories being true. These are two separate things. And minors and children being abused by Jeffrey Epstein and rich and powerful people abusing these children was not the conspiracy. These were crimes that were actually investigated and that should continue to be investigated. That part wasn't a conspiracy. The part that is a conspiracy, that is Pizzagate, is this idea that demons and the devil were involved and they were drinking adrenochrome and gaining superpowers, and there was a trafficking ring under a pizza parlor that in a basement that doesn't exist. So it's really frustrating to watch people conflate these two things because these are in fact two different things. So no, these conspiracy theories are not proven just because we know that there were rich and powerful people abusing children.
How long have conservatives been saying that they're literally eating kids?
So I find it interesting how she says conservatives have been saying this the whole time. Which, yeah, conservatives were the main people believing in Pizzagate because it is a QAnon conspiracy theory that basically leads people down the alt-right pipeline. And I find it interesting that she says that, right? That, conservatives have been saying this the whole time when a huge chunk of them are the ones this admin right now are the ones trying so hard to protect these people and redact the names of people who were involved. So it doesn't make sense to me why she's saying that. And I am not saying, I think both Democrats and Republicans were involved with this. Obviously, this isn't like a one-party issue. But it blows my mind that all of a sudden these people are acting like Republicans aren't also the people trying to cover it up. And people like Trump calling it a hoax. Why? What? The Pizzagate conspiracy theory was also used as a weapon to say that all Democrats or progressive people are demonic and evil and working with Satan. Pizzagate was quite literally used as a political weapon. And a lot of people want to deny this and say, well, like, it wasn't about that. It was. Conservatives were the ones constantly pushing this, and that's why they were very, Trump ran on, like, releasing the Epstein files, even though he ended up calling it a hoax. Doesn't make any sense. But it was used as a political weapon, so it's frustrating to watch these same people say, we told you guys, when we know that there are so many of them, of their party, involved in this and or trying to cover it up like Pam Bondi is doing and the entire administration. So it's just ridiculous to me, but let's continue.
And it's not just eating kids, by the way. Like, I need you guys to, like, understand that the way they do it is so incredibly graphic that my entire account would get banned if I even spoke a little bit about it. Like I said, look into adrenochrome.
Also, I have not seen any solid proof that they were eating children. I have only seen people reading emails and say that this is code for that and that's code for this, and I'm not seeing any proof for it. Am I saying it's impossible? No. Am I saying there's no way they did it? No. But again, this idea that we know this for a fact simply isn't true. And again, she's bringing up adrenochrome, that adrenochrome conspiracy theory that has not been proven whatsoever.
But all of these elites, all of these crazy people doing all of these crazy things, what is the one thing that they hate the most? Jesus Christ! Why? Because they're terrified of him. They are terrified of him.
This is so funny to me because there were people in those files who claimed to be Christians, and also the Trump admin's main source of support are evangelicals, Christians. A lot of them still supporting him even with all of this happening. And so it's just such a bizarre and twisted message to say all of this is like they're just so terrified of Jesus. What are we even talking about? It's just, again, a way to use this as an opportunity to promote your religion, and I think it's in very, very bad taste to use this to prop up your own religion and make this about you, your religion, and your God specifically.
Another thing conservatives have been saying for years, and people were just like, you just hate trans people, you just hate all this other stuff, is that the trans ideology was being pushed to such an extreme to benefit these elite people. And everyone was like, no, you're just transphobic, all this other stuff. Also included in the files that I don't see anybody talking about is a very, very, very detailed email to Jeffrey Epstein from Robert Trivers, who is an American biologist who, by the way, is he's just free in America right now. He's just free in America. Literally years ago, like 20 years ago, literally talking about pushing transgender ideology onto 3-year-olds, specifically transgender ideology onto males.
So I want to give this little disclaimer. This person voted for Trump, or they say they've supported him, whatever. So it's not shocking to me at all that they would try and blame this on trans people. I'm just not shocked. My jaw remained in place when she did this. Mind you, this is the email. I'm going to post it up here. I read the email. I don't even know exactly what it's saying, to be honest. And it's crazy that you would pick this email out of all of the emails and blame it on people who are transgender and just it's so frustrating because this same person has made videos after this saying that there's nothing incriminating about Donald Trump in these files, so she's willing to overlook all of that. But this one email that talks about something involving transgender is the root issue. Again, just using minorities as a scapegoat to ignore these people who did horrendous, disgusting things to kids. Instead of looking at these actual people, we're gonna now be looking at this minority group because this is a big issue. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Because these elites, the majority of them, are gay. These weird pedos, yeah, some of them like little girls. The majority of them like little boys. More importantly, they have a fetish for little boy parts, or honestly, grown man parts on a feminine body. It is a graphic email. I reposted it. If you go look on my repost. It's literally there.
This part of the video was so bizarre to me because she's trying to make it seem like, yeah, some of them like little girls, but some of them are gay pedophiles. I don't understand when people act like pedophilia is a sexuality. Like, she's quite literally doing this where she's acting as if it is a sexuality and you could be a straight pedophile or a gay pedophile. That's not how pedophilia works. But she seems to me to be giving this vibe that gay pedophiles are somehow worse than straight pedophiles. That's a crazy, insane thing to say. Because again, number one, it's not a sexuality. And number two, again, trying to demonize people that are different than you, whether that's gay or transgender or whatever, and acting as if one is worse than the other, whether you are a pedophile towards little girls or little boys. One's not worse than the other. They're both pedophilia. And that's one of the most insane things about this video to me. It's absolutely disgusting.
You guys don't even know the half of it. You called everyone crazy for calling out Pizzagate. Now there's thousands of emails thanking Epstein for the pizza party or pizza parties that were just so great. They were just so great. What kind of parties did Epstein throw? What kind of parties did Epstein throw, guys? Oh, pizza parties. Some pizza parties with my screen.
Again, let's say even if the word pizza or pizza party was a code word for something, which I don't know if it was, there's a lot of stuff in those emails that I don't even know what they're saying or what I'm looking at. We can pretend to know, but I don't think we actually know. But let's say, and I know I'm going to get a lot of wacky comments from people who maybe aren't actually listening to what I'm saying. And I'm not saying these things can't be code words. They could be. I don't know. But again, let's say they are code words for kids or abusing kids. That still doesn't make the Pizzagate conspiracy theory real, because there were a majority of that conspiracy theory was insane stuff like what she's saying that still has not been proven true. And I want people to understand that. And that stuff that hasn't been proven true is so damaging to actual victims and actual systemic failures that we should be focusing on instead of this fantasy world that this person is living in and a lot of other people who are liking this video are living in. I also want to mention, it's extremely disturbing to me that she's all giddy in this video. She seems like super happy and excited to be right about a conspiracy theory that hasn't been proven.
There are so many conspiracy theories that we need to open back up. The Wayfair cabinets, the $1,000 cabinets that were being sold on Wayfair that literally had human children names attached to them. Epstein's assistant made an $8,000 purchase to Wayfair. What do you think that was? What do you guys think that was? And you all were calling us crazy.
No, the Wayfair conspiracy theory has not been proven correct. And this is where nuance and complex thinking goes to die. Okay? When something like, we know trafficking is real of children, we know this is real. That is not a conspiracy theory. People who have money and power are more likely to get away with this stuff. That isn't a conspiracy theory. So oftentimes religious people think in this black and white terms, and because they do this, one aspect of the conspiracy theory is something that we've known to be true and is proven true. Therefore, X, Y, and Z has all been proven and it's all correct. That lacks critical thinking and any nuance and actually looking at stuff other than just looking at it through a black and white lens. And that's why, in my opinion, black and white thinking is so damaging, because there's no room to critically think and actually evaluate what is happening. It's just, oh, this is right, then this is all right.
That would never happen. That would never happen. Nobody would be, sex trafficking kids as cabinets. You want to bet? You want to bet? Let's open up Hillary Clinton's laptop back up again. That conspiracy theory. The one where 7, experienced homicide officers with years of decorated experience saw what was inside of the laptop before it was destroyed, and I think it was 6 out of the 7 committed suicide after, because of how disgusting and vile and just heinous things you would not even imagine.
See, there's a reason that she's bringing up Hillary Clinton. And I want to make it clear throughout this whole video. I'm not saying there aren't Democrats in the files, and there are obviously the Clintons were named in the files, right? I don't know what the context is there. Hopefully they get to testify at some point. I'm glad that they're willing to, but there's a reason why she doesn't bring up any conservatives and she just brings up Hillary Clinton. The reason for that is it was used as a political weapon towards Democrats. That's what this is what this conspiracy theory was about. And I'm not going to talk about all the aspects of the QAnon conspiracy theories, because there's so much there. That would have to be a whole separate video. That would probably be hours long, and I'm sure someone has already done it. Maybe in the future, though, who knows. But there was a whole thing that Hillary Clinton was just this evil trafficker who worked with Satan and demons, and again, the whole thing. And this conspiracy theory that these cops looked at her laptop and they all committed suicide after, which there is no proof for. That's another conspiracy theory. But again, it's interesting to me that this person can continue supporting Donald Trump and his admin, but has something to say about Hillary Clinton, who is willing to testify publicly, and guess who isn't? The people she's supporting. So, again, it proves my point that this thing has been used, the Pizzagate has been used as a political weapon to, don't look at any conservatives, look at all the Dems and progressives. They're actually the ones that are actually evil, working with the devil and demons in being pedophiles.
It all goes back to adrenochrome, baby. It all goes back to adrenochrome. It wasn't just raping kids. I hope you don't know that. It wasn't just raping kids. The things that they did to these kids, as crazy as it is for me to say this, a simple rape and beating would have been light.
And in my opinion, this is the most disgusting part of the video. And this is a great example as to why a lot of victims that are victims of trafficking and even this whole thing despise these conspiracy theories because this girl just looked in the camera and said being raped and beaten would be light work because they've built up something so fantastical that they're not focused on the actual victims of these disgusting crimes. That is the most, and I can't emphasize this enough, I've said it over and over again over on TikTok, but I just can't say it enough. This is why these conspiracy theories are so damaging, because of what she just did there. She just said, like, in her mind, these imaginary kids that were involved in devil worship and harvested for their adrenochrome, they had it so much worse than the real victims that have come forward and said that they were raped and abused by Epstein and his acquaintances or friends or whatever. If that doesn't show you how damaging and disgusting these conspiracy theories are, I don't know what will. And also on top of that, it makes me so sad that victims of these crimes actually have to see videos like this, hearing these conspiracy theories, calling their abuse light work. That is really devastating.
And that's saying a lot. And these people capable of committing all of these atrocious acts, who do they fear the most? Jesus Christ. Just saying.
Overall, you can tell this video made me so angry, and I don't like singling people out. Like, I like responding to people, like, what they have to say because it brings up important topics, but I want to make this clear, this isn't like a her thing. This is a big problem that has been happening ever since the first time Trump was running for president. These QAnon conspiracy theories have destroyed people's ability to think rationally, has sucked them down into rabbit holes. It's destroyed relationships. If you want to know what I'm talking about, go to a page on Reddit. It is called QAnon Casualties, and it's quite literally people talking about how these conspiracy theories have ruined the relationships they have with people in their lives because they can't even live in, like, our reality, and it's really sad. But so many things about, I want to make it clear, I've seen so many videos like this. And I've explained all the reasons it makes me passionate about this topic, and it makes me so angry, and I'm so disturbed by it. But I have seen Christian after Christian after Christian on my For You page on TikTok talk about how this proves God is real, so using it as an opportunity to prop up them, their religion, their God. And I also see them constantly blaming the devil, the demons, Satan worship as a part of the Pizzagate conspiracy theory that hasn't been proven true. And when they do this, when they blame these supernatural beings, you're taking away the accountability that needs to be had when it comes to these people who did this stuff. And this is how they can continue with the cognitive dissonance of still feeling like a good person because they're caring about these imaginary children that got harvested for their adrenochrome, while ignoring the real victims and also still supporting Donald Trump and his admin who are actively trying to cover it up. And again, there are Democrats and Republicans involved in this. That's obvious, right? This isn't about that. This is about the fact that these conspiracy theories allow people to live in a fantasy. And when you're living in a fantasy, you're ignoring real systemic failures. You're ignoring real victims. These things these things really happen to them. You're so out of reality that you're calling it light work. What happened to these real people, these real victims? It's so infuriating to watch, and the pushback I've gotten from talking about this has been incredible, as in a negative way. People being so angry at me that I don't subscribe to this Pizzagate theory, and nobody should be shocked about this. Ever since I first started making content, I've spoken out about the harms that conspiracy theories have done to people, to victims, to us being able to focus on actual issues. And someone said this in such a good way. I'll have to look up who said this, but they essentially say something that I've heard a lot of people say about conspiracy theories, is they make up such fantastical things that focusing on real trafficking and focusing on real victims is boring to them. And this is like a great example. Again, calling it light work because you've built up a fantasy in your mind of kids to care about who don't exist, who weren't harvested for their adrenochrome by the devil and demons and whatever. To them, the truth is boring. And to them, I think a lot of these people love the perfect victim, and they don't see a lot of people as the perfect victim, so it's easier to create these people in their heads. But this is how they're able, again, to still feel good about themselves while still supporting the current admin and just being okay with that. I actually looked at her profile and she was talking about how she doesn't think Trump did anything wrong. Yeah, it's been something I've heavily been focusing on. Again, if you're on TikTok, you know that I've been crashing out about this because it's so frustrating to watch, but it's also frustrating to watch people on my side of the aisle who, are in the same space as me say, "Oh, these conspiracy theories were actually correct." No, they weren't. No, they weren't. And for people who want to defend these conspiracy theories or even say something like they were partially right just because we know trafficking exists, I promise you, these conspiracy theories have done way more harm than good, and you need to stop carrying water for these people because it is severely damaging people's ability to focus on real issues and real victims, and instead focus on fantasy or the supernatural or whatever it is. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Well, not really. I could talk about this for hours, probably. But that's all I'm going to say for now. I'm sure this won't be my last video about this. But yeah, it's disappointing to see, but it's not surprising because of the way that evangelicalism and QAnon conspiracy theories have meshed together. I don't think people realize how heavily these conspiracy theories have infiltrated evangelical culture. So many evangelicals are so heavily into QAnon, and believe it or not, a lot of people who are in QAnon don't even know what they're a part of. They don't know that it's called QAnon, they don't know what it is, and they don't know how it originated or anything like that, which is sad, and also I think by design. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. Let me know your thoughts, and I hope you're all doing good. I hope you're all taking care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.